All right, guys, thanks for hopping on tonight's team call. Tonight, I wanted to talk to you guys about objections. Now, for those of you that watched my live video, I believe I posted it on Friday. I talked about objections because let's face it, we all get objections every single day in our business. And I wanted you guys to share what are the most common objections that you get, whether you're inviting to a challenge group or the coaching opportunity, and also what was your biggest objection. Now, I also talked about how I want to do a photo album in the group, and I'm going to touch on this real quick. I think because we all had our own objections coming into this business, right? Like either we procrastinated signing up, or we thought about it before doing it, or we were a challenger and then became a coach, or whatever it was. We all had our things, and not all of us can relate to all of the objections that we get on a daily basis. So what I wanted to create, and if you guys didn't listen to this video, then you'll understand what I'm wanting to create. And if you did, then you get to hear me say it twice. But I want to create a photo album in our team page where it's basically an Instagram story, just one snapshot of your transformation or a selfie, or you and your family, or something showcasing you. And at the top stating the objection that you had when your coach talked to you about coaching or a challenge group or whatever, when you first got introduced to Beachbody, like what was your initial objection? And then at the bottom, talk about how Beachbody has changed your life. And the reason that I want to do this is because I want us to be able to showcase all different kinds of objections that people had and let other people know, like, hey, you're not the only one letting X, Y, and Z stand in your way. So I want it to be something where we can all go grab, maybe once a week, we can like do a little story of a combination of different coaches, different walks of life, different shapes, sizes, ages, all sorts of things. And we could be like, so I hear you. I understand your objections. And here are some amazing people that have got out of their own way, or that did this or did that, because, I could battle the being broke and not being able to afford it objection. I could battle the time management objection. I could battle the I'm going to fail objection, because those are the things that I relate to. But then there's other things that people throw my way that I'm like, ooh, well, I can't relate to that. So let me pull Kayleen's story. Let me pull Sasha's story. Let me pull Jasmine's story. And these are a great opportunity for you to showcase us as a team, as a whole, and as like help the masses when you can't relate, when relatable. Does that make sense? So that I wanted to touch on that real quick. Now I have that video pulled up, and if you guys, while we're going through this, if you guys have any objections or you think of something, feel free to pop it in the chat and we can talk about it too. But I'm going to tell you guys, if you haven't realized this already, chances of people signing up when you first ask them are slim to none. The majority of the people that you approach are going to tell you no. And this is okay. And the reason why I say this is because when people don't want to take a chance on something that they don't know. Can you guys relate to that? Like if you see a car, but you're not sure the engine is in there, are you going to purchase said car? No, because you don't know what it all comes with, right? The same thing with this. Like when we talk to people about being interested in a challenge group or the coaching opportunity, first they think that they're not like you. They're like, well, I see you posting on social media all the time. I see you, checking in with your workouts and you're killing it, and you do burpee tuck jumps. I can never do that. First, they compare your story where you're at on your journey to themselves, right? Because let's be honest, you guys did. I guarantee you guys did, right? You're like, I can't do what programs that person's doing, or I can't be a good coach because of this, or I can't be successful because of that. Because this person obviously works their business 8 hours a day, and I have a full-time job and 3 kids. I can't be successful, right? We do this comparison game. Well, guess what? Our followers are doing the same thing. So that's why it's so important to draw the emotion into the conversation when you're talking to your people. And, like that, this is why tonight, like Oh no, my screen went away with all the objections. Okay, here we go. Okay, I pulled it up. This is why it's so important when you're talking to people. You want to get them talking about why they're interested, what their goals are. If you guys were on the big Misfit Republic team call last night, I was talking with Joelle about this. If you guys didn't watch, or if you watched the recording, but I said, like, you can't just, like, I understand we get super excited, especially when it comes to something that we love. Like, I vomit out the mouth about 2B Mindset and Lift 4. Like, those are my babies. I just can't. I get so excited. I'm like, oh my God, Caitlin, guess what? Like, I just want to share paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs about how much I love this and blah, blah, blah. But the thing is, when we do that, we scare people away because we bombard them with too much information, and they, in their mind, they remain surfacial. Now, what I mean by this is they're looking at your before and after picture or your transformation photo, right? They're looking at that and they're like, okay, I want to lose 10 pounds too, or I want to be able to drop 2 pant sizes, or I want to be able to X, Y, and Z. But the thing is, they stay in that frame of mind. They don't go deeper unless you provoke them to go deeper. They need to figure out what it means to them when they reach these goals. Oh, hold on, guys. Just put it on the kitchen counter. Sorry, kid alert. They need to help to be provoked to establish their why, the importance of what their goal actually means to them. Because I'm telling you guys this, if the person, okay, my name's Sally and I am interested in your challenge group because I seen your challenge photo or your transformation photos and they look bomb diggity and I want those transformations myself, right? You're like, okay, awesome. That challenge pack is $160. Well, if you just jump ship or if you just jump into that and tell me that the price is $160 and this is all I get, I'm going to be like, well, I have this to buy and I have bills to pay and I have this and this and this. Like, I'm going to give you all the excuses that I have because I haven't found the reason why it is that I want those results. So it is our job, our responsibility to figure out their why. And chances are they don't even know their own why. So when someone says, you know what, Tracy, I need to lose 20 pounds. Well, why do you need it? What's so important to you about losing 20 pounds? How would that make you feel? Oh gosh, well, I'd be able to run around with my kids. I'd be able to go outside and play with them and not feel run out of energy and lethargic and in pain. I would be able to get through my day without having to take a nap, carry groceries carry all the groceries from the cart to the house. Like, I'd be able to do these things. I'd feel confident in a swimsuit. I'd be, X, Y, and Z. There's all these different things. And when you're asking the right questions, you're getting them to think. And the deeper you go, the easier it is to battle any objection they throw your way. Because when you ask them what their goals are, you ask them how it's going to make them feel once they reach their goals, you're helping them develop their why. Then you're going to talk to them about their struggles. Well, what's your biggest struggle when it comes to reaching that? What's your biggest struggle when it comes to losing that 20 pounds? Well, honestly, I'm an emotional eater. Or honestly, I can't find time to work out. Well, honestly, X, Y, and Z. I have no support. I don't believe in myself. All these different things, right? Well, when you're talking to them about their struggles, chances are you're going to help them battle those objections right then and there. Because those are going to be the things that they're going to initially tell you when you're like, okay, let's get you started. It's $160. They're going to be like, oh, well, I don't have time, or I don't have the money, or I don't want to spend that much money on something that I don't think is going to work for me. So when you're talking to them about their struggles, then you can talk to them about the solutions that come with the community, the support, the products, the programs, all of that stuff, without the price tag hanging over them, right? Because what you're doing, you're helping them see the big picture. Like, if you guys think about your goal, like, let's talk about coaching for a minute. If you want to earn an extra $100 a week, you're like, yeah, An extra $100 a week would be awesome. But why? What could an extra $100 a week do for you? Could it help you fill up your gas tank? Put more healthy groceries in your refrigerator? Would it help like allow you to take your kids to do something fun, like a day date during the week or the weekend? Would it allow you to have a date night with your significant other on the weekend? Like imagine the possibilities that an extra $100 would be able to do for you, right? If you just think, I just want to lose 10 pounds. I just want to earn $100 a week. Then that's being too surfaceable. Then you're going to be able to put every excuse in front of you why you're not working towards it, and you're going to procrastinate just like everybody else. Just because we're a coach doesn't mean we don't do that stuff. I see Kayleen's little man there. I ain't going to use colorful language right now. But the same thing goes with our challengers, our coaches, and the people that are following us. They're going to use every excuse they can because they don't understand, right? And it is, like I said, it is our responsibility to bring the emotion into it. So with that said, I'm going to go through some objections that you guys shared really quick. And like I said, if you guys have any other objections that you get consistently, or any off the wall one that you're like, whoa, I don't even know how to battle this, share in the chat box and we'll go through it too. So I'm going to pull. Okay. All right. Money. Okay. So we'll start with money. So this is a common one, right? When probably my first 6 months of coaching, I was eager beaver. Like I diarrheaed out the mouth all over everybody because I was so excited. I got great results with TurboFire. I love Shakeology, everything. Like I was just like verbally vomiting everywhere of everything. And then I would be like, oh yeah, it's $200. Oh, it's $200. Oh, it's $200. And I would be ghosted. This was way before ghosted was even a thing. Now that I actually know what it is, I could use it in the proper terminology. Don't make fun of me. But I was getting ghosted. No one would respond to me. Even now, like I will check in with people and I'm like, oh my God, I haven't messaged this person, or they haven't responded since 2012. Yeah, it really happens, guys. So I would sit there and I would give them like this, here's the challenge group information and blah, 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 blah. And it's $205 or how much ever it was. And they're like, oh, that's great, Grant, and wonderful, but I don't have the money. Here's the thing. When it comes to money or people spending money, extra money on their health and fitness, you have to get to where their head is. Now, for me, I attract a lot of moms. How many of you guys are moms on here? Or significant others even? See, as a significant other or a mom, I find this happens more often than not. We feel guilty for even spending $20 on a pair of Target brand yoga pants on ourselves because we could be putting that money towards our kids, our significant other, or something else, right? Am I right? Or am I the only one that ever feels guilty spending money on myself? I'm like, oh, well, Gage could use another pair of running shoes. Oh, well, you know. So when you're talking to people just like you're like, you know, I understand this is really hard for you to like wrap your head around spending $160 when that could mean like 3 weeks worth of groceries in your home. But here's the thing, when you're talking to people about money, you have to put the importance of the fact that it's an investment in their health, period. Because it is. It's an investment in their health all the way around. Because here's the thing, you guys, and for those of you that have been doing workouts, that have been fueling your body properly, what happens? You literally become a better version of you. So you become more patient with your children and your significant other. You're more loving. You're open-minded. You're easily adaptable to tough situations. You literally become your best self. So it's so important to be talking to people that have that mindset where, you know, I don't have the money. I don't have the money. Or I could be using that money on something else. Well, what's more important than investing in yourself? Literally investing in your health. feeling better, getting happier, gaining your confidence. Like, don't those things matter? And then here's the thing too, I like to talk to other moms about. I let them know, like, when you're investing in yourself and in your health and your happiness, think about what you're showing your kids. And that's a big hitting the nail on the head right there, because like when you talk about someone like the worth and value, and then you bring up someone's kids, like if anyone would say that to me, I'd be like, damn, like that took the wind right out of me. Because I want my kid to be strong. I want him to be healthy. I want him to be happy. I want him to put himself first, you know? But if I'm not doing those things, how is he ever going to learn that? So when you're bringing that up and you're like, listen, I understand. And like for me, like I said, a money objection is something I could battle, because at the time we weren't even living paycheck to paycheck. Like I had to scrimp and save and skip bills and all this stuff. At the time, I did not pay 3 bills that month so I can sign up as a coach with the Turbo Fire Challenge Pack, which at the time was $205. I didn't have self-worth. I didn't believe in myself. I didn't even believe in the product at the time, you guys. But something about it felt right, and I knew it was a chance I needed to take. So yeah, I could battle that. I could be like, listen, hun, I understand not having the money. I didn't either when I first signed up. And then I talked to them about, you know what, but I'm so glad I did, because I've learned to become a better version of myself, and my son has followed my journey the entire time. And he's picking up those habits as well. Like, don't you think that's worth more than another pair of running shoes or a new throw rug, or, you know, getting your nails done, right? Because we all run into those. We're like, I don't have money. And then the next day they're like, look at my fakies, or look at my new hairdo, or whatever. I'm not judging, because I get all that shit done too. Okay. I'm not judging by any means, but I know where my priorities lie. So make sure that when you get the money objection, that you talk about the investment in their health. Okay. My biggest objection when I jumped in as a coach was that I hated multi-level marketing companies. I thought there would be quotas or minimums I would have to meet, and I didn't want to be forced to sell. And I think we have to battle that stigma a lot. So yeah, especially when you talk about people with coaching. So has anyone ever got bombarded with, oh, it's a pyramid scheme, or you guys are a cult, or anything? Here's the thing. People don't understand what they don't know, period. They don't understand what they don't know. Some people are closed-minded, that they're like, you know what? I've seen enough. I don't need to know anymore. It is not your job to convince them otherwise. Cool. Awesome. Peace out. Because you are not my jam anyways, right? Because you're just going to waste too much energy trying to convince them otherwise. But they could still watch you. They could still see you showing up every day, right? They could still see your progress. They can still see your team's progress and your challenge group's progress and all this stuff. Maybe one day they'll come around, and maybe they won't, and that's fine. But I think this is such a big thing to talk about publicly, like in your post and in your Instagram stories, and talk about like how there's so many haters out there with multi-level marketing companies. And talk about, yeah, I understand that some companies have given other MLMs a bad rep, or even some coaches, because they didn't know better, or they learned different ways, or whatever. And just talk about the things that you've learned through this company and through this team, and what it's done for you, how it's changed your life, how it's watched, or how you've been able to watch other lives change. Because when you talk about the good, and you're talking like, you're not, what is that quote? Instead of bashing what you hate, brag about what you love. Have you guys ever seen that like on Pinterest or something? Instead of like bashing, like instead of being negative about something, so like not be like, oh, this multi-level marketing and that multi-level marketing and blah, 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 blah. Talk about the good things that you love about Beachbody and what it's done for you and what it's done for your business. And even like when you get these objections, feel free to battle them in your Instagram story and be like, hey, you guys, I don't know if any of you guys have ever thought about Beachbody being a cult or a scam or a pyramid scheme or blah, 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 or like everybody else. But here's my opinion. that's the same thing goes with like when someone talks to me about like, oh, I don't drink Shakeology, I drink Premier Protein. And I'm like, cool. But I don't like nag on Premier Protein. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know anything about Premier Protein, but what I do know about Shakeology is X, Y, and Z. Instead of bad mouthing what they're doing or what their experience was, I talk about the love that I have for Beachbody, Lift 4, Shakeology, 2B Mindset, yada. Yes, I know I'm going back a little bit. I did do a post recently where I talked about you can have your pretty packets of whatever and blah, 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 because I'm getting a lot of people that are on this ketones thing, and they talk about like how they could drink this pretty powder, pink powder, and not change their diet, which I think is completely ridiculous, because if I don't know, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just saying, talk about the things that you love, not bash what you hate. Okay. I also get money and too busy as objections from the people I invite. Okay. I talked about the money and then the too busy thing. This is where I also talk about the investing in your health. Like, we all have time to watch Game of Thrones or Parenthood or Jeopardy or CSI or whatever. Like, I guarantee you there's not a person out there that doesn't scroll on their phone for over an hour or play video games or play games on their phone or binge watch some sort of TV or lay on the couch and do whatever, play Scrabble. I don't know. Scrabble's fun. But people don't understand that they are actually wasting time somewhere in their day where they could be devoting that time on themselves. And I think it's so important to talk about, I understand this is an investment in your time. Taking 30 minutes a day or 45 minutes a day to work on you, I know it's a change. I know it's different because you're not used to that. You may have to adjust your schedule. But just think, if you spend 30 minutes a day in the morning working out, you're setting your rest of your day up for success, right? Because who in here has never, like Jasmine, I'm going to call you out, girlfriend. So she has not been a early morning worker outer. I'm rolling with it. And then last week we got on a call and she's like, I totally worked out this morning and it was like awesome because like you had a great day, right, Jasmine? Like it sets you up for success. You want to eat better because you're like, well, I'm not going to ruin my workout by eating garbage today. And then you just feel better. So when you're talking to them about, yeah, you're investing X, Y, and Z amount of time into your workout, but you're also making sure that you're bettering your life. You're putting yourself first. You're making yourself a priority. And that's important. My biggest objection was money. Well, it wasn't really, okay, we talked about money. My objections was money and the hatred towards multi-level marketing. Okay. But I also battled with my own personal objections that I've been looking at as of more learning curve towards things that have been needing to change for a long time. My self-hatred, self-doubt, being self-conscious. This business has helped me open up and work towards finding the words to put in the post to share my journey and life without the fear of judgment. I was bullied a lot growing up and didn't realize that it built such a wall around me. I hope you don't mind me reading this, girl. I didn't realize it built such a wall around me, and I didn't even know how to let people in. Year before last, I got asked maybe 15 times if I was pregnant when I wasn't. And each year, at least once or twice, I continued to shield and hide myself under mountains of clothes. I still have family members who poke fun, but I've allowed it. And now with this dream job of being a coach, I recognize all the toxicity that has been weighing me down and want more than anything to show other women just like me that this business is so much more than the judgments they throw out with their objections. I'm 30 years old and just learning to love myself thanks to Beachbody. Oh my gosh. If that doesn't give you all the feels, like Sasha, okay, first off, I can't speak for everybody else. I was also bullied. And I think high school was the worst for a lot of women. And I personally, when I first learned about Beachbody, I was like, shit, like it's majority of women. Like my judgment, my negative mindset was in such a dark space because I pictured it just being like high school cliques, where you had to morph yourself to fit in and they wouldn't even like you because you weren't who you really were. And then when like the true you came out, like when you started lip singing or wore like a pink purse when nobody else did or whatever it was, then you were judged and everyone snickered behind you. So literally, you guys, this was my vision coming into Beachbody of coaches. Like, how sad is that? Because of the way that other people were treated or what I experienced before. But think about all the other women out there who feel the same way, who watch you, but they're like, I want to be a part of that. But what if they're really catty? Or, you know, like they have all these things that hold them down, whether it's, you know, not really supportive friends or family members or people from their past or whatever. We've all had someone in our life who wasn't supportive, right? Can anybody? Who wasn't supportive. And it killed us. I'm bringing up a leg too. And it killed us. It literally kills you, especially when you want them to be supportive and they're not. But the thing is, those people that lack that support mentality, they need support themselves and they're not ready to make the change for themselves. But the thing is, when you have struggled with bullying or negativity or some kind of negative energy anywhere in your life, you need to lean on those that lift you up and do the things to help you grow. Like I struggled with self-esteem for as long as I could remember. That's why personal development is so freaking important to me. Like I share personal development with everybody. I don't even care if they ever sign up with me as a coach or a challenger or whatever. If they go to someone else as the coach, I don't care, because personal development has helped me shake off the negative shit so much that I truly feel everybody in their life needs PD. Everybody. But the thing is, not everybody's willing to take that route, right? We all know somebody where we're like, oh, you need PD in your life, and they're like, you know, that blah, 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 you know, because they have a closed mindset where, you know, like when I first heard about personal development, I thought self-help meant there was something wrong with me, right? Oh, I don't need that. There's nothing wrong with me. Yes, there was everything wrong with you. You had no belief in yourself. You lacked self-esteem. You didn't know how awesome you were, right? We've all been there. And, you know, I love the fact that you said that you're like leaning into Beachbody and letting Beachbody be like the foundation for you to build yourself up. And I think that's something that we should all touch on, because a lot of people, especially women, is Terry still on here? Okay. A lot of people, especially women, we hold ourselves back because we don't believe in ourselves enough to be successful, right? We don't even take a chance because we fear that we're going to fail. Whether it's giving our all in a workout program, inviting someone to a challenge group, attending a live event. There's all different ways that we hold ourselves back, even on our daily lives. You know, like there's certain things where like myself, I'm afraid of confrontation. So like anything that could not offend someone, but like make anyone like feel like not positive and happy and sing with butterflies and rainbows all around them, like it makes me uncomfortable. And so I try to like not go there. But then I realized, like, if it's going to benefit me or my son or someone I love or something else in the long run, why not? Why not go through that? We're all going to have these uncomfortable areas in our life where either we've hit our limit and we know we could do a little bit more to get a little bit more, right? Or we are hit with a brick wall and we're stuck in a place where like, okay, either shit or get off the pot. Like there's all these areas in our lives where we're like, okay, well, here's a chance I could stay in my comfort zone, or I could sneak out of my comfort zone, be a little bit uncomfortable, but in the long run, it's going to benefit me. And I think we all of us need to talk about that on social media, because I think so many people hold themselves back. Like, think about all the people that watch your stories and like and comment on your stuff, whether it's 5 or 500 people. Those are lives that they're just wasting time, not wasting time watching you, because I'm sure you're adding value and stuff to their lives, but they're not doing it themselves because they're scared, because they're worried, because they're letting their doubts and their limitations and all this stuff hold them back. But this is definitely objection that we need to battle publicly every single day. Because even if someone's your challenger or your coach or your sister or your cousin or whatever, and they're holding themselves back, they're not asking their boss for their raise, they're not leaving that shitty relationship, they're not moving out of that unsafe environment, they're not putting down the Twinkies and picking up the spinach, they're all these different things because they became content in their life, and they have been telling their stories. For any of you that listen or watch Brené Brown, she always talks about the stories that you're telling yourself. They tell these stories like, okay, well, I'm meant to be like this. Okay, I'm meant to be like that. Okay, this is how life is meant to be, right? Well, we need to retell our stories, and we are the only ones able to do that. But so many people are scared because they don't know. They don't know what the outcome's going to be. But the matter of fact is, we never know what the outcome's going to be, right? Never. You never know what the outcome's going to be over anything. But sometimes it's worth the risk. And that's where we ourselves need to be brave and show up and talk about it. Talk about our failures, because everybody fails. And if you don't fail, you're not trying. And we need to talk about our successes. Like, hey, listen, this is a risk I took one time, and this is where it got me. We need to tell both sides, so people that have tried just once and failed and have been terrified to get up and try again, you talk about what you did after you failed, or you fumbled or whatever, and share where that got you. Because chances are that's going to inspire them to do it again. I'm going to come in the chat real quick. I'm not motivated like you. Do you get that a lot, Tracy, huh? Yeah. That's a big thing that people say, I'm not motivated like you, or I don't have your motivation. And I think that's why it's really important to say, I'm not motivated. Like, people are like, there's no way I could wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning like you. You love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, I don't love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Like, nobody loves waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I love being snuggled up in my bed. I would love to sleep in bed until 9 o'clock in the morning. That's what I would love. Having my feet rubbed, someone bringing me coffee. That's what I would love. I don't love waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Are you crazy? But I love taking care of myself. That's what I love. And when people say, I'm not motivated like you, or I can never be motivated like you, say, that's when you talk about your why. That's when you talk about their why and help them establish their why. Like, this has been an ongoing objection that I've been publicly battling for like the last probably 3-4 weeks, where, because I always get that. I'm not motivated like you. I wish I had your motivation. And I talk about everyone has the same amount of motivation inside of them, but some of you are allowing yours to be covered by your limitations, by your excuses. You're allowing yourself to hold yourself back because you're tired, or because your kids wake up early, or they don't sleep through the night, or you have this really stressful job, or what you're doing is just allowing more stress to build up. But what you need to do is establish your why. Why do you want to work out? Why do you want to make yourself a priority? Why do you want to do these things? What is that going to mean to you? What is that going to mean? How is that going to help your job? How is that going to help your family? How is that going to help your relationships? Like, literally, you guys, this is something I talk about almost on a daily on my Instagram stories, is finding that motivation within inside of you. Because everyone's like, Kayleen and her burpee tuck jumps, I'm not motivated like you. I can never do that. Really? Have you tried? Have you tried establishing your why? Because that's so important. So I love that you shared that, Tracy. My daughter needs personal development. I told her how much it's helping me, so I told her what books are good to read. Yes. There's even kid, I know your daughter's not as young as Gage, but there's even kid books like Wayne Dyer has a bunch of kid books. Louise Hay has a bunch of kid books for those of you that have kids that are like 12 and under. Go to Amazon. They're freaking awesome. I got Gage one that's called I Am Unstoppable. Of course I did, because we're unstoppable Misfits. But it talks about like how, you know, you could be relentless and determined and ambitious. And they're just really cute books to have when you're younger. But yeah, so moral of the story. There's an importance of bringing emotion to the objection. And that's why it's so important to talk about their goals, talk about their struggles, what they've been doing so far when it comes to reaching their journey, because you're going to know the pinpoints and the pain points to touch on when you're helping them see through the objections. You're not trying to convince them, you guys. This is a big thing. You never want to convince someone to purchase or sign up with you, because chances are you're going to have to convince them to work out. You're going to have to convince them to drink their shake. You're going to have to convince them to show up. When you have to convince someone to do something, they're personally not ready. You have to simply show them the way. Show them the importance. Open the door for them. Show them what's possible. Help them realize their worth. Help them realize that investing in themselves is such a priority and such an investment in every area of their life. We got to be willing to show up and ask the tough questions that they haven't even thought about. And we have to be willing to show up and battle these objections on Instagram stories or on Facebook stories or on a Facebook post or an Instagram post. Because chances are, if one person has that objection, 10 more are right behind them with the same objection. So why not hit the nail on the head and do a public post about it in some way, shape, or form? I'm not saying like, oh, well, so-and-so said. I'm not saying like that. But say, hey, you know, I understand how you may think that I'm motivated. Well, let me break it down to you how motivated I am to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And you could share your story. Or, hey, I have 2 kids and a 9-to-5 job and a husband and a house to take care of. But guess what? I still show up and make myself a priority. And you show them how. And you battle your objection publicly. Not calling anyone out, You just want to be relatable. Like, tell a story. Like, hey, I understand. I've been there, done that. Or I'm going through that right now. You don't necessarily have to be over that objection or that struggle. You don't have to be healed from that struggle or over that struggle. You could be going through it right now. Hey, I understand that Shakeology is a huge investment. Like, you know, to me, I can't wrap my head around spending $100 a month on a shake. But then I think about like the money that I'm saving because I'm not eating all this garbage food, because it helps curb my cravings. Or, you know, the fact that I'm able to hurry up and make myself a nutritious breakfast when I'm running out the door because I have 100,000 things to do throughout the day. There's so many different ways that you guys could not battle the objection, but help them see through. Right? You want to help them paint the picture so that they understand what's possible. And that's what really this is. Because people watch what other people are doing all the time on all sorts of forms of social media. They watch what they're doing and they don't necessarily know exactly what they're doing. They're not paying that close attention, right? So they truly don't know. And so the chances of you asking them to join you, hey, Christine, I think we're wearing the same shirt. Are we wearing the same shirt? Oh my God, twinsies! These were last year's Summit t-shirts, by the way, or tank tops, by the way. So I don't even know where, I just got totally sidetracked. I don't know what I was saying. I have no idea. Sorry, guys. It's our job to battle objections, to help see the bigger picture so they know what's possible. Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. People are going to tell you no for the things. Yes, I agree. Best shirts. See, now I'm getting sidetracked. People will say no to things that they are unaware of. Because there's so many things there's so many excuses people hold themselves back with. And unless you help break it down for them, unless you help show them that they're important, that they're worthy, that they are of value, and that investing in themselves is so important. And talk about these things publicly. Like I said, talk about them in your Instagram stories, talk about them through your posts, talk about your own objections that you originally had, talk about the things that you're struggling with. It's so important to show up. We have to be brave. We have to be willing to show up and share the hard shit so people truly understand it's not all easy. It's not all yeses and hoorays and hurrahs. You know, it takes work. It takes us waking up unwillingly at 5 o'clock in the morning to do the things that we need to do so we can do the things that we want to do later on, right? Because I have no energy to work out after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. No way, shape, nope, not going to happen. No way. Can't do it. My body and my mind will be like shutting down. You're taking a nap. So I need to do mine before the sun comes up, before I actually know what I'm doing, before I talk myself out of it. I don't like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Battle that. When people say, I can never do what you do because of X, Y, and Z, I don't like waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't have all the motivation in the world. There's times I work out and I have zero motivation and I have to rely on 2 scoops of Energize. Hello. Right? You guys get me. But battle those publicly because people don't know. And people are more likely than not to talk themselves out of something because they don't know. Okay. Now, last but not least, I'm going to talk to you guys about something uber important. Oh, first I'm going to remind you guys, I'm going to create a photo album right after this. So in the team page, I would really, truly like it if you guys share an Instagram story of your first initial objection, or maybe something that you thought about while coaching, and then how Beachbody has helped change your life. And it could be a picture of you and your family, a selfie, any kind of picture, but it has to be you in it, please. Secondly, last but certainly not least, since Christine and I are twinning, I'm going to talk about Summit real quick. For those of you that don't know, Coach Summit is an exceptional event, you guys. This is something that I highly recommend you do whatever is in your power to go to. You will not be sorry. This event is, so just like on team calls, like if you guys watch a recording, you don't get that same energy, right? You don't get that same energy from being live and showing up on a recording. The same thing at Summit, you guys. There's not a summit where I haven't bawled my eyes out from leaving other coaches, or being like the Saturday where it's like the Beachbody challenge and you're hearing all these stories and you're just like a blubbering mess. If you are coming to Summit, bring tissues Saturday night, by the way. But like, there's trainings. You get to work out with you know, Joel and Jericho and Sean T and like all these people. And then you get to meet other coaches and teammates and just build these relationships and these connections. And it's so beautiful and so amazing. And, you know, like here's a disclaimer, Beachbody does not guarantee yada. However, I'm going to share with you guys my first Summit experience real quick. My first year as a coach, Summit was 6 months into me coaching. And like I said, I was so broke, like I was drowning in debt, to where going to Las Vegas, because that's where it was, my first Summit, going to Las Vegas was completely like, no way. I probably couldn't even attend Summit if it was in Seattle, which was like a half an hour from my house. Like I was so broke. So I couldn't go. And then I seen everyone posting pictures and I had major FOMO. I was like, I don't want to. I had to stay off social media. I was sad. I was crying because I'm missing out. There was like Andrea Crowder, Lauren Ricks, Allison Cornelius, Joelle, and like 2 other Misfits. It was like, our big team was like this big. And I remember them posting a team picture and I was like, I will never miss that team picture again. I'm going to be in it. So a year later, I was roughly making $400 to $600 a week. So a year and a half into my business, $400 to $600 a week, which is freaking awesome, right? Like, who doesn't want to make an extra $400 to $600 a week? I've been like, going balls to the walls, you guys. So I did what I could to get to this. At the time, it was me and my husband and 4 of my local coaches. We rented an SUV and we drove straight to Las Vegas. It was an 18-hour trip, you guys, with 6 people in an SUV together. That's for all of you who have road tripped with family. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Like that ish is tough. but we did it because I needed to attend. And I attended every training, every workshop, every workout, even woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning and closed down the big parking lot or whatever at the MGM and worked out with all the trainers. It was unbelievable. I took all of that in. Here's my disclaimer real quick. I took all of that in. I went home. I was so excited and full of inspiration and motivation that I blew up my business. The following week after leaving Summit, I earned my first $1,000 a week paycheck. I never in a million years would I have thought that I'd have a 4-figure or 4-digit paycheck for 1 week. Like, to me, that was like that was mind blowing. Like, I didn't even know that was an actual thing. And I did it. Do I blame it? Do I blame it? That's not really. Do I owe it all to Summit? Maybe, maybe not. But that was something that I was like, you know what? I'm never missing another Summit, because every time I've walked away from a Summit, my business has blown up even more. So you guys, if you can at all get your booties to Summit, do it. It is amazing. The experiences, the connections, the workouts, the trainings, everything is unbelievable. And like I said, you will not be able to experience the same amount of energy or anything if you're just watching. I'm looking at Kayleen's screen. You will not be able to experience anything at all if you just watch it on recording. So I'm telling you, if any way, shape, or form you guys can get there, get there. Okay? All right. Now, with that said, you guys ready to take a picture? Thanks for watching the recording.